Hey there. If you're tired of hearing the same old advice about finding a partner, and let's be honest, some of it's downright terrible, then stick around. Today I'm going to bust some myths, challenge bad advice, and share some actionable tips that'll help you choose a partner with clarity and confidence. Let's start with some of the most common and harmful pieces of advice people hear when they're looking for a partner. I bet you've heard at least one of these. The first is opposites attract. Sure, it sounds romantic, but in the long run, fundamental differences in values, goals, and lifestyle often create more friction than connection. And then there's just follow your heart. Look, I'm all for listening to your gut, but ignoring red flags because you're infatuated? That's a recipe for heartbreak. Or how about you'll know they're the one when you meet them? That sounds magical, right? But here's the truth. Relationships require effort, communication, and growth. Chemistry is great, but it's not the whole story. Do any of these sound familiar? Let me know in the comments below which piece of bad advice you've heard or even followed. Why is this advice so harmful? Here's the thing. Advice like this oversimplifies relationships and sets up unrealistic expectations for what a healthy relationship looks like. Take opposites attract, for example. Yes, those differences can feel exciting and new at first. You might admire how spontaneous they are if you're the more cautious type. But what happens when your opposite views on finances, family planning, or even where to live start to create conflict? Those differences that once seemed charming can turn into major sources of frustration. Or let's look at follow your heart. Following your heart is a beautiful idea in theory, but it becomes dangerous when it means ignoring glaring red flags. Have you ever seen someone stay in a toxic relationship because they believed their love would fix their partner? That's the downside of this advice. It encourages emotional decisions without critical thinking. And the love at first sight fantasy? It might make for a great Hallmark movie, but real relationships are built over time. They require trust, communication, and shared values, not just butterflies in your stomach. You need to be able to develop an intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and physical connection as well. When you base your choices on oversimplified advice like this, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and heartbreak. Okay, so now that we've debunked the bad advice, let's focus on what actually works. Here's some guidance you can rely on. Define your non-negotiables. Before diving into the dating world, take time to reflect on what truly matters to you in a relationship. Start by creating 2 essential lists. The first is your must-haves. These are the non-negotiable qualities or values your ideal partner must possess, such as honesty, emotional availability, shared spiritual beliefs, or a desire for children. Then there's your deal-breaker list. These are the behaviors or traits you absolutely cannot accept, such as smoking, excessive drinking, a lack of ambition, or dishonesty. Knowing your non-negotiables gives you clarity and ensures you focus on building connections that align with your values and goals. Without this clarity, you risk investing time and energy into relationships that are destined to fail. Next, seek alignment over perfection. No one is perfect, including you. Expecting a partner to meet every ideal you've ever imagined is unrealistic and unproductive. Instead, focus on finding someone whose life and values align with yours in meaningful ways. While your non-negotiables, your must-haves and deal-breakers, serve as your foundation, not every quality needs to be a deal-breaker. Once you've ensured your must-have boxes are checked and there are no glaring deal-breakers, consider the nice-to-haves, the qualities that are desirable but not essential, like a shared love of skiing or similar hobbies. When evaluating alignment, ask yourself, do we share similar values such as honesty, respect, and commitment? Can we communicate openly and resolve conflicts constructively? Are our long-term goals, such as family, career, or lifestyle, compatible? It's about building a connection with someone who complements your life or enhances your life, respects your boundaries, and shares your vision for the future. A healthy relationship is rooted in alignment, not in the pursuit of perfection or an endless list of preferences. Finally, prioritize emotional health. This is a game changer. Emotional health is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. A partner who is self-aware, emotionally available, and committed to personal growth is far more valuable than someone who might check superficial boxes but lacks emotional depth. So, what does emotional health look like in a potential partner and in yourself? Let's break it down. Self-awareness. A self-aware partner understands their own emotions, strengths, and weaknesses. They can recognize when they're feeling upset or triggered and take responsibility for their reactions. For example, instead of lashing out during a disagreement, they might say, "I'm feeling frustrated. Can we take a moment and talk about this calmly?" Emotional availability. An emotionally available person is open to forming deep, meaningful connections. They're willing to share their thoughts and feelings and also make space for yours. They don't shy away from vulnerability, whether that's admitting fears, expressing love, or working through challenges together. Growth-oriented mindset. Healthy individuals see relationships as a journey of growth. They're willing to learn from mistakes, work through difficulties, and evolve alongside their partner. For instance, if they realize their communication style isn't working, they're open to exploring ways to improve it. It's also important to recognize the red flags that signal a lack of emotional health. These might include an inability to handle conflict constructively, persistent avoidance of difficult conversations, unresolved baggage from past relationships that negatively impacts the present, a tendency to blame others for their problems instead of taking accountability. But emotional health isn't just about your partner. It starts with you. When you prioritize your own emotional well-being, you're better equipped to attract and maintain a healthy relationship. Here's what that can look like. Building emotional resilience. You learn to process your emotions in a healthy way instead of suppressing or exploding under stress. Establish boundaries. You understand what you need and what you won't tolerate in a relationship, and you communicate these boundaries confidently. Practicing self-compassion. You forgive yourself for past mistakes and see them as opportunities to grow. When two emotionally healthy individuals come together, it creates a partnership built on trust, respect, and mutual support. Instead of avoiding tough moments, you face them as a team. Instead of tearing each other down, you help each other grow. So, as you evaluate potential partners, ask yourself, are they willing to take responsibility for their actions and emotions? Do they demonstrate empathy and understanding? Can they handle challenges without resorting to unhealthy coping mechanisms like stonewalling or aggression? And don't forget to ask yourself the same questions. Emotional health isn't just something to look for in others. It's a quality to cultivate within yourself. After all, the healthier you are emotionally, the more likely you'll attract a partner who shares those same qualities. Here's a couple of stories that I'll share with you from clients that I've worked with. First, learning from opposites attract. One of my clients kept pursuing partners who were the complete opposite of her. She believed that their differences would balance each other out. But over time, those differences caused conflict, especially when it came to big decisions like career moves and family planning. It wasn't until she shifted her focus to finding someone with aligned values and goals that she found the relationship she'd been looking for. Today, she's with a partner who builds her up and shares her vision of the future. Then there's ignoring red flags. Another client was so infatuated with his partner that he ignored clear red flags. She was emotionally unavailable and unwilling to communicate openly, but he kept telling himself, "My heart knows best." It wasn't until he began prioritizing emotional health, both his own and in his relationships, that he found a partner who could truly meet him halfway. Choosing a partner is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. So how can you put this advice into action? Well, first, reflect on past relationships. Think about what worked and what didn't. Were there any recurring patterns? Understanding these can help you make more informed decisions or choices in the future. Set clear boundaries. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They ensure that you only allow people into your life who align with your values and respect your needs. Don't rush the process. Good relationships take time to build. Be patient and don't settle for less than what you deserve. Let's rewrite the script on how we choose our partners. Forget the bad advice. Instead, focus on building a relationship that's grounded in shared values, emotional health, and genuine alignment. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on building healthy, lasting relationships. And if you're ready to dive deeper, check into the links in the description below for free resources, books, courses, and personal coaching to help you on your journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.